So Laura, we're so glad you're with us today. And so what do you love most about Six Points Church?
It's a wonderful church. It is. I'm so glad to be here, so glad to be in this atmosphere. And most of all, we focus on Jesus at all times. He is the main thing, and that's what makes it important. And of course, the people. I've often said that when I come in and sit down, you can just feel the love from all the people in the sanctuary. And it makes it so special.
That's great. That's great. And so how do you think God has used Six Points Church to build his kingdom in Sheridan, Indiana?
You know, I've thought about that, and I think about all the things that we've done in the past. And now the young people have stepped up and they're doing these things and reaching out in so many ways. I'm thinking, how do we do all that? But we do it. And you guys are just, it's amazing to sit back and watch all that is being done to reach out into the community.
That's great. And when did you first start attending Six Points Church? Of course, it was called Sheridan Wesleyan Church then, but when did you first start?
It was in 1973, and there's a little story behind that. I had been praying as to where I should go. We'd been in the church at Lebanon, and we decided we wanted somewhere closer. So I was praying about it, and I said, God, just give me a sign so I'll know where you want me to go. And I was out driving when I was praying, and when I came home, Reverend Rickenberg was sitting in our living room talking to Raleigh. So to me, that was the sign God gave me. And I just want to say that I've learned so much from him in those early years. So it was a great joy.
And why have you stayed at Six Points Church? What's kept you here?
Well, number one, God hasn't never called me to leave. I had friends who left and went to other churches, but God never called me to leave. And I was teaching my Sunday school class, and that was the greatest joy of my life. And it was just, we must have studied every book in the Bible, and the people were so good and attended so regularly. I just praise God for that honor and that privilege of teaching his word. It was wonderful.
This year, 2022, marks 140 years of ministry at Six Points Church. We want to share with our church some thoughts from a few of our longtime members, and today we have Janet Bragg. Janet, would you share with us what you love most about Six Points Church?
Okay, as I was pondering these questions, it came to my mind that something I've thought over the years is how Six Points Church is a multi-generational church. And we have all ages represented. And we have babies as well as 90-year-olds. And I think that's a sign of a healthy church. And there's something for everyone at Six Points Church.
That's great. That's great. And how do you think God has used 6 Points Church to build his kingdom here in Sheridan, Indiana?
Okay, that's another question that I pondered all these questions, but I thought about this and I thought back over the years. Back in the day when we had Bible schools that lasted 10 days, we had record numbers of kids that attended our Bible schools. And at the close, we would have, quite a big turnout for the Bible school program. And so that's one way that I think we've impacted. And it's interesting as a person who participated in all those Bible schools to see the kids come back when they're adults now and come back to our church. And the other thing is we've always participated in community outreach events. We've done Mama's Covered, collected foods. We've done Christmas Angels and back to school where we sponsored a child and purchased their back to school outfits. And I think back to our women's event, we would have people call and want to know what we were doing for our retreats, and we'd have people from outside our church come. So I think only eternity is going to tell how much we impacted our community, but I believe it's been a great one.
That's awesome. That's awesome. When did you first start attending 6 Points Church?
Well, I was estimating probably around 77. I had one child at the time, now I have 3. And she was probably 2 or less when we started attending. So I'm thinking around 77 that I started attending, and I've been here ever since. And it's kind of a unique story. In my early 20s, maybe I kind of got away from church a little bit at the time. And my mother happened to see Reverend Rinkenberg at camp, and she told him about us. And he came and visited, and the rest is history. So that's when I first started attending church here.
And why did you stay? Why did you stay?
Well, there's many reasons. It's a legacy for me now. First of all, it's a Wesleyan church, and I've been a Wesleyan my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
And, I've developed many strong friendships, long-lasting. This is where my lifelong friends are. That's basically why I'm still here. It's my legacy, it's my tradition. I raised my kids in this church, and that's probably why I'm still here.
And we're glad you are. We're glad you are. Thanks very much.